Good morning. That felt like a really long walk. Thank you for being with us today. For those of you who may not know me, I'm Lisa Hogan, and I have the privilege of serving as your senior warden during this extremely important and exciting time in the life of Christ Church. So you've just heard, we are 1 week away from Stewardship Sunday. Hopefully you've had the opportunity to hear from at least one or more members of this parish speak about the importance of giving and why they give to the church. This year we made a conscious decision to start our annual campaign drive earlier this season in hopes of wrapping it up before the holidays, but also to assist us in preparing the 2017 budget. It was also important, I felt, to keep the momentum going as a community and a family while working through these changes. I felt a renewed excitement, willingness, and commitment from this parish to jump in, roll up their sleeves, and get involved. There's an old story about a guy who occasionally comes to church with his family. When they attend, he drops a little something in a collection plate. This particular Sunday, as he and his family are driving home, he complains about everything. The sermon was too long, the music was too loud, the announcements were unclear, the building was too hot, the people were very unfriendly. He went on and on complaining about virtually everything. Finally, his very observant son said, "Dad, you have to admit, it wasn't a bad show for just $1." I thought a lot about what I was going to say when given the chance to speak to you about giving. I've come up with and dismissed all kinds of pledging themes. I feel your pain, just do it, even feel the burn. But in the end, it became important to speak to you why Christ Church is important to me and my family, and how honoring that commitment to this church means not only pledging every year, but increasing our giving again this year. September 11th, 2001 was a terrible day for all of us. Certainly some were affected more personally than others. For our family, the night before, September 10th, was terrifying. My middle son, Wills, had been born a few weeks earlier. It was the late afternoon of the 10th, and he came down with a fever of 104. And as protocol for newborns with high fevers, he was admitted into Greenwich Hospital. He was immediately whisked into an exam room where they performed a spinal tap and began pumping his frail 7-pound body full of antibiotics in case of spinal meningitis. Needless to say, my husband and I were beside ourselves, having had no sleep for days, no family in the area, and terrified the results would come back positive. I spent the night at the hospital while Paul stayed home with our 18-month-old. Then it was September 11th, and all of us were in panic mode. My mother, who lives in Virginia and probably didn't realize the level of chaos happening in New York at the time, called Christ Church to alert the clergy of our very small in comparison issue. She left a message that I was at Greenwich with Wills. At 2 p.m. that afternoon, Betsy Rodman, whom many of you might remember, and was our curate at the time, arrived in Wills's hospital room. She sat with me and prayed over him, inviting nurses and doctors on the floor to join us. It was beautiful. It was a quiet in the middle of the storm and a memory I will treasure forever. In the midst of all that was happening and all the unknowns of that day, Christ Church was there for me and my family. When considering your return of gifts to Christ Church, please think of where you'd be without it and how this church and family has been there for you. When you contribute to the church, you should give for yourself and your family. The founder of the Kraft Corporation, J.L. Kraft, once said, "The only investment I've ever made which has paid consistently increasing dividends is the money that I've given to the Lord." How much does Christ Church mean to you? How much does Christ Church give back to you? And in return, how much are you willing to give to it? Thank you.